Hello everyone, welcome again to this hybrid accounts channel or hybrid financial consultants actually. And our new topic today is on inventory planning and control. Inventory planning and control. Actually, this topic can be studied for quantitative techniques, but also for those studying financial management, it is usually found on working capital management for inventory. So it's a very, very common topic. You should be very conversant with it, right? All right, so our main coverage in this topic is the following. In our topic, we'll cover the following. We'll check on introduction, and then we'll come to reasons for holding inventory. After that, we'll check on inventory management costs. We'll find them holding costs, ordering costs, things like those. And then we'll come on inventory management models. So we are just going to study the models. We'll have the basic economic order quantity model. We'll check out the trade discount model, inventory levels model, and then economic order quantity model for batches. Suppose we make production in the batches, but also economic order quantity model with the shortages. And lastly, it's a just-in-time system, but actually it won't take a look at just-in-time system. Just-in-time system just means that you purchase materials and you produce on demand. So you hold no all levels of inventory. Now let's go back to the start of our topic. Here we are. So let's start with inventory management. You as a company, you cannot just be purchasing inventory in excess or in deficit. We are just trying to know the appropriate level of inventory to purchase or to produce so as to run our production smoothly, right? Yes. So simply speaking, when speaking of management of inventory, you have to refer to the following. It deals with ordering. You will order inventory. Actually, you will purchase, you pay, you will receive inventory, you will store the inventories, and then you will be issuing the inventory, let's say for sale or for production. If it's materials, it will be for production. So it's just like this. And lastly, you can deal with controlling levels of inventory. All right. So after this, you could say that inventory could include anything. Inventory could be raw materials, work in progress, or finished goods. That's why I say inventory could be work in progress, like as you see here. Inventories could comprise of finished goods. Of course, inventories could comprise of raw materials. And when we say of finished goods, it can be the merchandise that the goods you purchase for sale, or it could be the goods you produce by yourself. That passed from raw materials to work in progress to finished goods manufactured, right? Yeah, so it's something like this. But also it could include just spare parts or consumables. So before going to our main topic, as I just told you up here, this is what we'll go through. We'll go through these ones. We'll go through all these models. But at start, you need to know the actual flow of inventory, the actual flow, let's say, of materials. So this is the movement of materials that is usually involved. So here we say movement of materials should be documented as follows. Let's say you are a manufacturing company and you have materials. Now, how do materials move? So first of all, you as a company, if you need to produce something, you will need materials. So you prepare a purchase requisition. Who prepare the purchase requisition? Oh, the stores department issues it. Because the store department, the store is the one which knows that these materials are not available, so we need them. So the store department issues it, which is then sent to the purchasing department. The store department alerts the purchasing department of the need to purchase materials, and the purchasing department authorizes that an inventory is ordered. So that's the first point on purchase requisition, right? Yes. Then after that, a purchase order can be made now, because it has already been authorized by the purchasing department. So it is drawn up by the purchasing department and sent to the supplier. The supplier receives the purchase order so as to know whether he can deliver the goods. And after taking them to the supplier, when the supplier delivers, they will not take them to the purchasing department. They take them to the other department that will receive materials, and maybe to the accountant, that the accountant will have to record that. So that's why we say the copy of the purchase order is sent to the account department, but also to the receiving department. All right? Yes. And now you can have another document here called quotations. Quotation. What does quotation mean? Actually, quotation is always important when maybe there is a change in the suppliers, or maybe the supplier now has its goods being priced too high, so we need to get another supplier. So I'll have to take a look at the quotations. So the purchasing department may need quotations. Let's say the purchasing department may need a quotation when new inventory line is required. You need a new inventory. You need inventory that you have never had. You do not know the suppliers yet, so you will ask supplier to submit their prices, and they would choose one that you deem to be the best. So that's the one possibility. But also a quotation could be used if the existing supplier's price is too high. Oh, we had the supplier, but now he's charging us too high. Now I cannot continue trading with him. So I just change, I just use quotations. But also the reason could be that the existing supplier no longer stocked the goods. I had a supplier who was good, he had good prices, but right now that existing supplier no longer stock the goods. So I have to find another supplier. So it's just like that. Let's finish up with the documents before going to the real topic. You know, we're just trying first to learn the true movement. You should always learn this, do not just learn numbers. Numbers just accompany reality, all right? So I could have a delivery note. Delivery note, this, how does this appear? You know, sent the purchase order to the supplier comes and delivers the goods. So the supplier delivers materials and the storekeeper signs the delivery note for the carrier. That's right. The storekeeper would sign the delivery note, and then we say the packages are then checked against any copy of the purchase order. You know, previously a purchase order was sent, and that copy was also sent to the stores department. So the stores department will check the goods delivered with what was ordered in the purchase order to see whether there are any discrepancies. And that's why to say, for the types and the quantities of materials, you know, you could have ordered another thing and you could have received a different thing. So you have to check that. And so discrepancies are referred to the purchasing department. So the purchasing department can be made aware, oh, you ordered this, you said that this one will be bought, but actually a different thing has come, or maybe materials have been insufficient. And lastly, we have something called goods received note, as well as materials requisition note and material transfers and returns note. Let's finish up with these documents, and then we'll just go to the real topic. So I can have another thing here called goods received note. What the goods received note? If the delivery is agreed, let's say the stores department has agreed the delivery, the storekeeper prepared the goods received note to acknowledge the receipt of the goods. And so a copy of the goods received note is sent to the account department, right? Because, you know, the account department is the one who deals with the books. So the accountant needs to know what has been really received. So as he can match it with the purchase order, because as I told you before, when the purchasing department draws a purchase order, he usually takes them to the stores department, but also to the accounts department. So both the accountant and the stores department will have this purchase order. All right. And so the supplier's invoice is checked against the purchase order and the goods received note, and the steps are taken to pay the supplier. So if everything is fine, the supplier is paid. All right, so you can just proceed like this, and we have the other two documents here. I have materials requisition note. What is material requisition note? You know, it may happen that materials are required. So to make production, you usually have to go and ask for materials in the stores department. So we say materials are issued against a materials or stores requisition. And these documents must record not only the quantity of goods issued, but also the cost center or job number for which the requisition is being made. Yes, you must state, oh, stores department, I need these goods, but these goods are just going to be used somewhere. So I'll take them there. And lastly, we'll have the material transfer and the returns note. What about material transfer and returns note? You know, you may have taken goods somewhere and the goods may be returned. Maybe you've taken the goods to a certain job, but now they are not required, or it was wrong, so they're just returned. So that's why we say when materials are later transferred to a different job, not necessarily to a different job, but simply speaking, when materials are later transferred to a different job or cost center, The first, let's say the job one receives the materials, but now they are transferred to job three. All right, not through the stores, just on the fly. A material transfer note is raised, and material returns must also be documented on a material return note. So, simply speaking, it must be accurately known on where the goods are now located, right? So that's something that is very, very important. You should always note. So this was just the beginning of this topic, and then we can proceed.